Welcome, Stashers, to another episode of Stache Sports. Wow, it was a wild night last night. The Baltimore Ravens, like I like to call the Baltimore Rappers, backed out of a trade last night that would send all-pro defensive end Maxx Crosby to the Ravens for 2 first-round picks. They say that it was due to injury. He didn't pass the physical. But all the teams knew going into the trade this year that he had a meniscus injury and he was coming back from that and he had surgery. So what does that mean? I think Baltimore is trying to do something funny or fishy. There's something going on in Baltimore, and I really think that the NFL needs to look into this. And yes, I do realize that the Baltimore Ravens really didn't do anything bad because the new league year doesn't start until today, and he can also renege out of trades. I get that. I understand that. I get it. I understand that, but I think that the NFL needs to look into this. They shouldn't be right. Maxx Crosby should be going to him. I think the Ravens got scared. I think they realized, oh crap, all our players are leaving, and we got to play against the Steelers and the Bengals and the Browns, and all our players are leaving, and we lost 2 first-round picks. And there's other defensive ends like Trey Hendrickson, and we'll get to that one later on in the video. But there's other people like Trey Hendrickson, so I think the Baltimore Ratbirds or Baltimore Ravens, I think they reneged out the deal and used that he didn't pass his physical as the excuse not to draft him. I think it's fishy. I think they should be looked into, but they probably won't because there's nothing against it. But like I said, the new league year the new league year starts today at 4 p.m. So that means that nothing becomes official. So all these free agents can say, sorry, I don't want to sign your team, or I changed my mind. But most of the time they don't do that or back out of a trade or free agency at the last minute. But now the Baltimore Ravens signed Trey Hendrickson to a new contract, a big contract too for that matter, 4 years for $120 million, I think it was, or whatever, with like a lot of money guaranteed. So that's good for him. Trey Hendrickson played for the Bengals, but was hurt last year. But in my personal opinion, and I know I'm a Steelers fan, and you can say I'm wrong, and we can also debate about it on my channel, and you can comment on which one you think is better overall, Maxx Crosby or Trey Hendrickson. I think Maxx Crosby better. I think Maxx Crosby is like a TJ Watt. What I mean by like that, I mean like look at the Steelers defense when TJ Watt doesn't play for them. If they go down, I mean I know he hasn't had the best defenses in Oakland, but now they're getting him a defense, Las Vegas, but now they're getting him a defense. But he makes that defense a lot better when he's out there. And the Raiders look a lot worse on defense when he's not. He is definitely a difference maker. Trey Hendrickson's defense sucked last year too, but I don't know how much of a difference maker Trey Hendrickson is compared to Maxx Crosby. And also Trey Hendrickson is coming off a back injury. I mean, I know you can say so is Maxx Crosby coming off injury, so Maxx Crosby's off to 28. Hendrickson's going to be 31 next year. That's getting older for defensive linemen to keep having their bodies be able to go longer for that long. And I think Maxx Crosby has a longer durability of a playing career, in my personal opinion, and can go longer right now than Trey Hendrickson might be able to, because Trey Hendrickson gets hurt a lot too. But we can also debate about that too in my comments. Who do you think is better, Hendrickson or Maxx Crosby? I mean, Maxx Crosby's good too. I was a little more scared of having to go against Maxx Crosby, no matter who the quarterback was for the Steelers this year. I mean, Trey Hendrickson scares me too, but I just think Maxx Crosby is a far better player, in my personal opinion, and I think he's a better player at that position. But I mean, I guess you get a player compliment to him that's good too. I mean, Hendrickson's no slouch, so he's good too for the Ravens, and you don't give up first-round picks. But I think something's fishy. Why did they change their mind at the last minute? I think they got buyer's remorse. I think they got cold feet, or they became little chickens. I mean, I was just talking to my friend Brandon, and he said this isn't the first time this happened. The Baltimore Ravens have got out of free agent deals before in the past and never trades. That general manager in Baltimore is a little shady cat, in my opinion. He is the shadiest cat in the business. He gets away with it. But why does he get in trouble for doing stuff like that? They should investigate this. They investigate everything else in the league. They investigate the players sometimes for drug tests if they do really good on a play or something. And they investigate a lot of other stuff for NFL stuff. So I think they should investigate it. What do you think? Do you think they should investigate it? I mean, I know they're probably not going to find any wrongdoings, but like I said, the new league year doesn't start until today at 4 p.m. So none of these deals that we're talking about are really official until today. But most of the time, teams don't change their mind and come out of the deal. Most of the time, teams don't change their mind, and they mostly don't come out and say, oh yeah, we're not going to do that now. We changed our mind. But the Baltimore Ravens did that. I think it's wrong. I think there should be consequences. I know I'm a diehard Steelers fan, and the Baltimore Ravens are our rivals, and I don't like them at all. But I would say the same thing about the Steelers. I don't think that's right. We'll see what happens. I mean, they got Trey Hendrickson still, but we'll see what happens to Maxx Crosby now. What does that mean for the Raiders and all their free agents? Does that mean the Raiders get to keep all their free agents, but I don't get all the money? Hell, I don't get salary cap. It confuses me, to be quite honest. I know that's a word there that might be a little adult, but it confuses me. So I don't get all the salary cap. But like I said, none of these deals become official, but can they still honor the deals they have? How much will Maxx Crosby's money come back in the salary cap? I think I heard that the Las Vegas Raiders had a decent salary cap before. I think I heard that they had a decent salary cap before they traded Maxx Crosby, and now they haven't even. But I don't know how it changes now. I don't know what that means about like a Tyler Linderbaum that signed there. Does that mean Tyler Linderbaum still gets signed there because he did sign one of the highest contracts for a center, or some of the other players that got, but they signed to high contracts? What does that mean for them? There's a whole ripple effect. It just started last night. This is going to be interesting to see what happens and to see how good Maxx Crosby does. Also, does that change the team to trading for him? That's an interesting thought too, Stache. Thank you, Stache. Does that make it a trade for him change now? Because like, what if he trades to Team B and he passes all the tests? What does that mean for the Ravens? Because if he gets traded in the next couple of days, the injury that scared the Baltimore Ravens is not gonna. The injury that scared the Baltimore Ravens is not going to. The injury that scared the Baltimore Ravens is not going to change. So if he passes a physical for like, I don't know what to say, Buffalo Bills or whatever team, Team B, the Bears or whatever team, if he passes a physical for them, what does that mean? It's not like his knee's going to get much better or whatever was ailing him in the procedure that they wanted to change, say that if he didn't pass the physical. But we'll see. I don't know if that's true. I think they got cold feet, like Diana Rusi said in her tweet, but Andrew Filipponi retweeted. I really think that. And I also agree with Andrew Filipponi from the PM team. I think that there should be consequences for the Baltimore Ravens and that they should have an investigation like Bob Pompani says. I think there should be something into it, but we'll see. It's just going to be a real interesting story going around now in the NFL. Also, does this make teams like the Bears, the Steelers, anybody else, you name them, the Vikings, the Lions, oh my, the Bears, the Packers, whatever team. I'm not going to name all the teams, but does this make all the other teams not want to trade the Baltimore now? If they did this, is this going to ruin their trade talks of other teams? Are other teams going to be like, oh, we don't want to trade with them, but they might change their minds? I don't know. If it's just going to have a decent ripple effect. Or it's not going to mean anything at all because the new league year didn't start until today, until 4 p.m. I don't know, but it's a really interesting time in the NFL right now. A real interesting, wild year for the NFL. I can't believe that. That was a wild story last night. I don't remember the last time that a trade that big with that many first round picks got taken back. It's wild. I don't remember the last time that's even happened in the NFL. It's going to be interesting. Like I said, I want to know your guys' opinions on this too. What do you guys think? Do you think the Baltimore Ravens should get in trouble for lying or for not saying that he had a medical injury? I don't know. What do you think they should do? But we'll see. But we'll see. I don't know what's going to happen now. If I was a team, I don't know if I would want to trade for Baltimore now because they might try to pull the same shady stuff on me, and I might not be able to get what I want in free agency or something. So I don't know if I want to trade Baltimore, but this is just wild. This is just wild to me. Still, that they backed out of that trade. I mean, I'm glad because we don't have to face Maxx Crosby now. Thank you. That's nice, Baltimore. You did us a favor there. I think the Baltimore Ravens got scared because they lost a lot of players like Tyler Linderbaum. Isaiah Likely's one of the better tight ends, and a couple of safeties and a couple of players, better key players to them. So I think they got scared and wanted their first round picks back. But that's about that. Last up, always players signed to the Steelers, because I think the Steelers have done really good at free agency. We got Dean, another lockdown corner that's going to help against the receivers in that division. We got a good receiver, Pittman, that has Pitt in his name. That's going to be good with DK Metcalf. And we got Rico Dabo. That's going to be a good pairing with Jalen Warren. We still need to get some offensive linemen. I saw that we signed an offensive lineman today from the Eagles, so hopefully he's good. But we'll see. I mean, we need to draft somebody. I still think we need to draft a receiver, but we'll get to that later on. But today is the first day of free agency. Kirk Cousins got cut today from the Falcons, and Kyler Murray is officially cut from the Cardinals. A lot of people think that Kyler Murray might go to the Vikings, but there's other rumors that he might come to the Steelers. I don't know. He might be interesting to come to the Steelers. He is a younger guy. He is younger than Aaron Rodgers, and might have a better upside than him if you have him on the right team. So I don't think Arizona has always built that good the last couple of years he's been there. So he might be good, but I don't know. I think it's still going to be Aaron Rodgers. I wouldn't mind Will Howard. I was talking to my friend Robbie earlier, and he kept complaining about Will Howard stinks. We don't know if Will Howard stinks or not. We don't know if Will Howard stinks or not. We haven't seen Will Howard play. Who would have thought that Brock Purdy would have been as good as Brock Purdy is? I mean, Brock Purdy is a late round draft pick. It's the last round draft pick, and he's really good for the 49ers, so you never know. If we get the receivers, we need another receiver for whoever the quarterback is. But if you give him a good offensive line and good receivers, maybe Will Howard can do something. I mean, Will Howard did win a national championship at Ohio State, but yes, I know you can say that Will Howard did have a superstar team at Ohio State and had really good receivers. Maybe get the receiver from Ohio State, Cardell Tate high, and you use them as your 12 picks to draft up high and get Cardell Tate and pair for him. But I kind of want to see Will Howard, to be quite honest, or even Aaron Rodgers. I wouldn't mind, but I got to let you know what I think about the quarterback when it becomes official, because right now we're not signed. But a lot of people in these media, and the local media, or national media and local media still think that Aaron Rodgers is coming back, even though we didn't get a real answer on the Pat McAfee show from this past week. But we'll see. But I do like Pittman. I mean, we did need a receiver too. We needed somebody bigger than Calvin Austin, who's only 2 inches taller than me. We need a big receiver because Calvin Austin really didn't pan out all that well, in my personal opinion. Unless they try to bring him back on a slot, and maybe he might be able to work there better. But they had to bring him for cheap. I don't think he's all that good. I don't think he's going to be that good. But we'll see. Bradley Chubb today signed for the Buffalo Bills. That's good for the Buffalo Bills. On getting Bradley Chubb. Bradley Chubb will definitely be a good piece for the Buffalo Bills defense. They need a key piece like that. That's a good addition for the Buffalo Bills and will help with their defense. The Bucs got Jake Browning, the backup quarterback for the Bengals, to be the backup quarterback for Baker Mayfield. That's good. Baker Mayfield has a decent backup quarterback if he needs it. The Vikings are keeping Aaron Jones. That's good. A lot of people thought Aaron Jones might walk and go somewhere else, but Aaron Jones is staying for the Vikings. So that's good for Viking fans because they really like Aaron Jones, and he's a good running back for them. And then Richard, the fullback for the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens is going to become a New York Giant. A lot of the old Ravens are going to the Giants. Going back to reunite with Harbaugh. Reunited with Harbaugh. But we'll see how good that is. But I'm just so baffled by them backing out that trade and being a little dirty. The little dirty birds, the little rat birds, I guess you could call them. We're back into that trade. We'll see what the ripple effect of that's going to be now. Sky Moore agrees to a deal with the Packers. Sky Moore was a decent returner for the Kansas City Chiefs, so that's a pretty decent addition for the Packers if we make the roster. Sky Moore! Sky Moore. The Cowboys are trading defensive tackle OBIGHIZUWA to the 49ers for a third round pick. That's a good defensive tackle. I don't know how to pronounce his name, so that's why I try to spell it. I probably spelled it wrong, but that's a good defensive tackle for the 49ers to get on that defense. I need help on a defensive tackle spot. That's good for the 49ers, and they only gave a third round pick for it, so that's good for them. And the Cowboys are trading defensive lineman Thomas to the Titans for a 7th round pick and getting a 7th round pick back, so he won't be a Cowboy next year. Dolphins are signing tight end Sims. Ben Sims for a 1-year deal. That's going to be decent for the Dolphins. I don't think they're going to be good this year, though. The Patriots moved. The Patriots had agreed to time for Juwan Hill, and safety Mike Brown. Per sources, insights. Wow. Mike Brown, that's a pretty good player, too. Oh, yeah! Whatever. So last night, the United States laid a big fat meatball and laid an egg and took Italy too serious last night. That was not good. Why did we mess up with Italy? Now we have to worry about Italy winning today, or worry about math, and math is not my friend. I don't get all the stupid numbers and run differential and stupid rules they have. But I heard earlier today on the radio, and if this is true, why does the general manager not notice? But here, I heard this on the radio from the local Pittsburgh radio, and they even played a clip. But they said they took the clip down from MLB Network. Apparently the United States general manager, I can't remember what his name is, but apparently he was on one of the morning shows on the MLB Network and said, "Oh, we are already locked into the position, no matter what. Ooh, we're going to the next round, baby. Woo! We're going to the next round no matter what." But he was wrong, because they lost last night and they need Italy to win tonight to go to the next round. Or they need Mexico to do something with math, and math is not my friend. But we'll see. I'm going to try to bring it up and read it right now. So if I'm a little delayed, you know why. But they need Mexico to do some kind of run differential or make it a close game, or need Italy to win outright. If Italy wins outright, if I'm understanding right, then that means the United States moves on to the next round. But if Mexico wins by whatever number of runs they can't win by, then the United States can always be going home. And we won't see another game of Paul Skeens pitching for the United States this year, because they won't be going on to the next round. But we'll see. Baseball tiebreaker. Oh, no, don't look at that. 1 minute. Can you at Team USA? Here we go. Italy beats Mexico. Team USA will advance to the knockout stage. If Italy beats Mexico, dropping Mexico to 2-2, then advancing Team USA 3-1 will make it. So if Italy wins outright, then that means USA will make it, but who knows? If Mexico beats Italy, here's now where it comes to the math. And like I said, math is not my friend. But here's comes the math, guys. Oh, if I can go back to it. Shit, I don't know where to go. 1 minute, son of a bitch. Oop. Here's how Mexico wins. If Mexico beats Italy and scores 5 or more runs in the ninth in 9 innings, then Team USA will advance on tiebreaker. So that means if Mexico beats Italy and scores 5 or more runs in 9 innings. So I guess it has to go all 9 innings. So I guess Mexico can't go up 15-0 and get an anniversary roll in like the 6th inning, because then the United States might not make it if it's that. I don't understand about that. But if Mexico beats Italy and scores 5 or more runs in 9 innings, the Team USA will advance. That's number one math. The math is not my friend. Man, I did it again. And then there's another one. 1 minute. And if Mexico with one more, but I hit the wrong button. But so we'll help. So I guess we need to hope that Mexico wins by 5 more runs, because then that would help the United States move on to the next round. And there's one more. And then here's the last one. This is another one that, if Mexico wins, all 3 teams finish 3-1 in the tiebreaker, the winner of USA will advance and Mexico scores 5 more runs in 9 innings. Or if Mexico scores 4 or fewer runs and Italy allows 4 or fewer runs in 9 innings. Or if the USA can also advance and Mexico scores 5 or more runs in a 9-inning game, or if Mexico scores 4 or fewer runs and Italy allows 4 or fewer runs in a 9-inning game. The tiebreaker involves the lowest quotient of fewest runs allowed divided by the number of defensive outs recorded in the games between tied teams. But that's a lot of math. I don't get it. That's a whole bunch of math if I don't understand, and I don't know what's going to happen with that. But today, the UCF, that's why I'm wearing my citrus, my UCF space hat. Today, UCF won in a good game against Cincinnati, knocking Cincinnati out of the Big 12 tournament. It took them overtime, but UCF won a good game and came back to win it. Now they'll play Arizona tomorrow, and I hope they win. It'll be a good game. But at least now, it might be able to help them punch their ticket to March Madness now, even if they can't be able to beat Arizona tomorrow. And Arizona is the number 1 team in the conference right now. So it's going to be a tough game tomorrow, but it's good to see the UCF Golden Knights go Knights and charge on. It was good to see the Knights move on today. It was good to see them fight back and not give up. They came back from late to tie to make it overtime. It was good by Cincinnati to make it near the end of it. They didn't make it near the end of it, but it was nice to see that the Cincinnati Bearcats lose and the UCF Knights move on. Now tomorrow they were playing at 3 o'clock against the Arizona Wildcats. That's going to be a tougher game. Arizona's one of the tough teams, but UCF was looking pretty good this year. They might be able to pull up an upset tomorrow. We'll see. I just hope they play a good game. But maybe today's win locked their ticket, made their ticket even harder to punch their ticket to March Madness. We'll see. Selection show is on Monday, but maybe this win helps them be on the first 4 in instead of the first 4 out in the bubble if they're in that way. But we'll see. I'll keep you up to date on UCF. Pitt lost today. Does that mean it's Jeff Capel's last game as the Pitt head coach? Because it's been rumors around local Pittsburgh media that Jeff Capel might be going back, might be getting fired or something, and they might be trying to replace him. But Pitt, no matter who the coach is, like Pompeo, and he says, needs to pay the money. He needs to pay money to get the superstars on his players in this new NIL. Whoever the boosters are, you get Pitt more money than NIL. But that's not what we're worried about right now. We'll talk more about Pitt later. We're not worried about UCF. UCF won 68-65 today in overtime. They came back and won. That's good. They play Arizona tomorrow. It's going to be tough, but I trust those boys. They have a fight in them this year. I hope they make it to March Madness, because I think they can make some noise in March Madness this year. Johnny Dawkins has a good team this year. We'll see what happens. But at least they won today and knocking off Cincinnati, and we'll move on tomorrow. I think Florida State upsets California tonight. You heard it here first on Stache Sports. But yeah, that's good for UCF. I really hope Italy wins tonight, or Mexico wins by 5 more, so USA can go, so we can see another game Paul Schemes. You might be able to see another game Paul Schemes because USA messed up last night. This general manager needs to wake up and not party after beating Mexico. The game's not over yet, dog. You're trying to do baseball, that's America's sport. Come on, man. Wake up. Know the rules, dog. Get up with this time and know the rules of a baseball game. Know that we're not in if you need to win. You should have won last night, and we would not be talking about it today. All we'll be talking about is the Baltimore Ravens being dirty rappers and getting out of a trade for Maxx Crosby. But now we have to talk about this too, because they laid an egg last night against Italy, and had Italy win. I mean, Italy's good too, but let's face it, Italy's like not as good as the United States. The United States has a lot better players, and they should have won. I really hope they can move on, because I want to see them keep playing, but we'll see. I guess we'll find out tonight if you watch the game, or you'll find out tomorrow in my Stache Sports broadcast. But I really hope that the United States moves on. But it's going to be hard now. If they would have just won last night, and got away, if they would have just won last night, and no matter what happened. I mean, they did have a chance to come back. It was 8-0 at one point, and they almost won it. They only lost it 8-6. But that was crap last night, this day. That was a bad baseball game. If they let us down last night, the general manager needs to know the rules, or we need to find a new coach for Team USA that does know the rules. Because we're America, for crying out loud, and we need to be winning in baseball. Against teams like Italy, when we have all these superstars on our team. We don't need to be losing to teams like Italy when we have superstars. We have Aaron Judge. We have Gunnar Henderson. We have all these other superstars. We have Bryce Harper. Where are their bats? Why aren't they hitting? I mean, I know a couple of them got home runs and made it close and got good hits, but where was the pitching last night too? How did the United States pitchers and elite pitchers let all those runs to Italy last night? What happened? Did they party too hard after the Mexico win? There were some rumors that they did party after Mexico and left the stadium late because they were reminiscent of old days and stuff. Maybe they stayed up too late. Or was it that the manager took the game too lightly and didn't try really hard because he thought he was in? He needs to know the rules. I mean, come on. If I was a manager, I think I would know the rules before I would say something on baseball TV like that and have it taken down because I was wrong. I would get my facts straight before I went on places. Come on, man. Baseball manager, you got to get it together. But let's hope, like I said, let's hope the United States can win tonight. Or excuse me, let's hope Italy wins or Mexico wins by whatever the map numbers or whatever I said earlier. But we'll see. I really hope we can see another game with Paul's games, but we'll see. We want to be having a conversation, like I said, if the United States would have just, won the game last night and not lost to Italy. But we have to have this conversation. Also, the Penguins lost last night in a shootout. They really need to fix their freaking shootouts. It's really starting to irritate me and annoy me. I told to my dad last night, when they went to shootouts, I'm like, oh, they're going to lose. I mean, they had one good shot in the shootout, and Shirkoff, the guy that got from Columbus, should have had that shot, to be quite honest. He whiffed on that shot. He whiffed it. He missed on that shot, but he should have had that shot. But then they won. But at least we got 1 point against Carolina. And we have a day off before we go play the Vegas Golden Knights tomorrow. And also, yesterday, Bam Adebayo had 83 points. Congratulations to Miami Heat and Bam Adebayo for getting 83 points, even though we know Will Chamberlain had 100 points, and he wrote on a piece of paper. So he's the one that has the real most points. But congratulations, since his stat error counts, he has the most points now. But we know Wilt Chamberlain has the most points of 100, and if you don't believe it, he even wrote on a little piece of paper before all of his stats and all of these numbers were counted in statistics. But congratulations to Bam Adebayo anyway. Boston lost last night and needs to regroup, but Victor Wembanyama has had a good night, and the Celtics couldn't stop him. But thank you for watching Stache Sports episode. Thank you for watching Stache Sports. Let me know in the comments what you think about the Baltimore Ravens, and if you think the Baltimore Ravens got ripped off, and if you think that they should look into the Baltimore Ravens, and if you even are a Baltimore Ravens fan, what do you think about it? Who do you think is better? Do you think Ray Henderson is better player overall, or do you think Maxx Crosby is better overall? Who do you think is better? please leave it down in the comments because I would like to see what my viewers think too of my videos. But we'll see. I think Baltimore weaseled the way out. But we'll talk more about this tomorrow. Thanks for watching Stache Sports. Boom.